J-Mad is not your everyday lunch partner. He's all the way raw.
How are you going to say Black Lives Matter when the only reason you come out is when cops kill us and we don't come out when we kill ourselves? That's crazy, man.
He's all the way real.
The truth? You can't even handle the truth.
And most of all, he has his priorities right.
I want the Falcons and the Hawks to be my pallbearers at my funeral. That way they can let me down just one last time.
J-Mad gives it to you big.
Holla at your boy. Life after the collar with J-Man, you heard me? We out here on all social media platforms. So if you look good, feel good, and if you smell good, turn it up, get lit, because we are going live. Turn up, get lit, we 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 going live. Where the DJs at, where the Indians at, where them P-poppin' girls love pinning it back. If that second line bounce, make you do what you want. Put a hump in your back, then lift your rump. In the club with a pump, won't fit in the trunk. You better run for it like you Forrest Gump. Back it up on his rock hard bone. Who's taking your baby mama home? I'm here to pump the party.
You're listening to Life After the Collar with your boy. You're listening to Life After the Collar with your boy J-Man on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa, that's right. Alexa can make it do just what it do, baby. Y'all, we got Miss Tony. What's going on with you, dear? Good to have you on the show. Aries, what's going on with you, love? My son snuck up on me yesterday. Yay. You know, you Aries, you got, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Be honest with you. That's a blessing. That's a blessing that when your kids get older and they come and check on you, see how you're doing, even if it's a surprise and things like that. That is a blessing. So many parents are out there wishing that their children would do just that. And that's just real talk. The parents wish that their children would do that. So blessings to your son. What's up, son? Good to have you on the show if you're listening. You may have already, Frida, what's going on with you, Frida, Zachary? You may have already went back already, but glad you came to check on your mom. Glad you did that. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I did. I had a really great weekend. I was busy, not busy, but busy, yet enjoyed my busyness and enjoyed the consumption of my time. I'm doing well, Beth. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well too. So I enjoyed this weekend. You know, I had to do the word of the week for my church. Not the sermon, it was the word of the week. So we do a thing on our shout out if y'all don't have a church home and y'all looking for a nice church to go to, especially virtual. We keep it real simple. We're not going into the church and broadcasting and all of that stuff and pre-recording and stuff like that. We do it where the person that's going to lead the intercessory prayer and do the word of the week, you can shout out my friend for his birthday. He's watching live. Who is your friend? I'll give him a shout out. So what we do is the praise and worship. His name is Mike Hunt. What's going on with you, Mike Hunt? Happy birthday to you, big dog. Mike Hunt is in the time in the show. Good to have you, big Mike. Be a part of the conversation tonight, Doc. Be a part of the conversation tonight. And so what we do is the person that does the introduction, they also cannot hear you. Everybody else, Spreaker, y'all good? Because everybody else is responding. So what I try to do, I don't want people to go down the same road I went through, travel down that same road and deal with the same issues and problems that I went through in relationships and things like that. I rather share my life so that others won't go through what I went through. Does that make sense? I'd rather save somebody the heartache and pain, because that gives me a way of looking at it and say, hey, you know what? I went through it, but I went through it for them. I went through it for Chocolate Lady. What's going on? Thank you so much. I went through it for someone else. So if something that I did or went through, I want to share it. So here's my question. Here's my first question. Oh, tonight is the DNC, the first night of DNC at 8 o'clock. So I am ending this show at 8 o'clock tonight. I will be ending the show at 8 o'clock. I'm not dragging it out to 8:30. I'm ending it at 8 so that we can get on. Those that want to watch DNC can do that because I want to watch the DNC conference going things. So here it is. Here it is. What for those that are single? What has caused you to end or not be in relationship or not be able to be in a relationship or ended your other relationship? I do not want you all to say what the other person did. I don't want you to say what the other person did. I'm talking about you personally. What caused you to end that relationship? What caused you to be single? Why are you single? Somebody just said, I'd rather be just friends. Okay, got you. But I really want us to dig deep. I'll start with me. I used to have a not a short temper. I had one of those when things irritated me, you knew it irritated me. It's not that I was verbal with it, but my actions, how I would shut down, I think that's what I'm trying to say. One of the reasons that I'm not in a relationship is because when I shut down hard. I literally shut down hard. No dating friends with benefits is much easier. Gotcha. Hey, look, do you, boo. Do you. Trust and lies. So trust, you did you was lying and you caused the distrust. I want to know what you did, not what somebody else did to you. What did you do? What were some of your negative actions? That's what I want to get to tonight. My brother says, Uncle T, those that looking for a car in Georgia, especially in the Atlanta area, y'all go see Uncle T out there at McDonough Nissan. Uncle T, Thurston Madison. Go see Uncle T. He says my work schedule is my problem. I'm too old to be talking about I just want to be friends. So those are two different things with my brother. I know my brother. My brother is a workaholic. He really is. My brother will, and he don't care. He's on here, so it is what it is. My brother will miss family events so that he can work. He is a workaholic, and he's really good at what he does, though. And he has so many people pulling on him. And then the second thing is he says, that must not be my true friend, whoever that is calling me. You must not be my true friend. The other thing he says, he's too old to be talking about, I just want to be friends. Got you. Now, I'm like this. I need you to be my friend before we have any type of relationship. It's not that I just want to be friends. I need to see if you are my friend before I take it over to the next levels. But I understand what you're saying. The question is, why are we single, or what ended the last relationship? It's an encompass of both, and not just your last relationship. All relationships, not just your last relationship, but all relationships. Well, I trusted him too much. When I get that. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about his negativeness or the other person's negative stuff. I literally only want, because here's how I am. When I get in a relationship and they ask what went on, I don't I give him some hints of what happened or some scenarios, but I have to go back and say, well, this is what I did wrong. This is what I did wrong. And that's where I am tonight. I want to talk about what you did wrong, what we did wrong. I took a look at me and knew my time was to be myself, my attitude. Okay, your attitude. I love hard and I fall fast, but unfortunately, I'm a runner. I like that, D. That's one of my other things too. One of my other things is that when something don't look right, feel right, I just run. I leave. Unrealistic expectations. Miss Tony said, I was not good enough. What do you mean you was not good enough? What does that mean? Because you're always good enough for the right person. Just because you're not, you can't meet someone else's standard does not make you not good enough. There was could not tolerate something. I don't know what that went up too fast. I ended it because it was toxic. Were you toxic? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I want us to be real open and honest. Yes, they did something to aid in this conversation. Jay Miller said she gave too much. Somebody else says, that's what I did wrong. I trusted him too much. You trusted him too much. Okay. So, but you did everything right. So you're saying you did everything right. You didn't do anything wrong. Your issue was you trusted him. He was the one that did all of the wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. That's what I'm reading. Am I reading that correctly? Insecurity. Yes, indeed. Ari says insecurity. Insecurity. Unfortunately, I'm a runner, and I get getting my heart. Yes, I'm that person. I took a look at me and knew it was time to be myself. My attitude, Yogi. Here's the thing. Look, when it comes to, I became a widower, but it was 38 years, so a little scared to date, but open to it now. Okay, so your issue, it wasn't anything that you did. Life happened. Life happened. So she's a widower and find herself in this situation right now. I never questioned anything. I just allowed him to do. Okay. So that's okay. Now I get it. You're saying your issue was you and I see. My thing is this. Let me be honest. I was not there. I was not there. Somebody says I didn't read the rest of this thing. It's going fast today. Whatever he wanted to do, because I thought, and I understand TikTok, so you breaking up yours. My thing is this. I was sharing this weekend. I shared this weekend. Well, actually, over the last week, some of the things that I went through in some past relationships, and it was hurtful. When I write my book, y'all gonna be able to see it. But I have to be honest. I did some stupid stuff too. I didn't do everything right. Yeah, I could talk about this thing, I could talk about that thing, I could talk about this thing, and I could talk about a whole bunch of stuff that when you hear me, y'all be like, oh, you supposed to have got out of there. But no, I did some things wrong too. I did some things wrong too. So what I want us to do is to always to be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, that joker was nothing. She caused me to be in the hospital, all of this other stuff. But this is what I did wrong. This is what I did wrong. I have went to hurt. I went through hurt, pain, and lied to. Okay. So I'm trying to keep it on what we did wrong. I understand what the other person, and maybe your thing, and I think that's what what's the name was trying to say. Because maybe our issue was I I minimized who I was. And that's probably what you were trying to say earlier, dear. I don't know what name that was. Maybe that was what you were trying to say. I still have love in my heart to still love again. Indeed. A lot of times what we do is this. We stop loving ourselves, and we start misusing and mishandling ourselves. The only reason someone else can misuse or mishandle us is because we allow them to. I know that's confusing because I'm not letting them do this. Yes, you do. When they do it the first time and we don't say anything, we give them permission to take it to a different thing, to a different level. Men are sensitive too. Indeed. We allow them to take it to a different level. If I poke you in your shoulder and you don't say anything or correct that and say, look, you're never going to don't ever put your hands on me again or I'm done. If you go back and do it again, he's checking to see if you was true to your word. So some of the stuff that we do and what we've been through, we may not have caused some of the pain that the other person brought to us. I get what you're saying. Some of the stuff a lot of the stuff, honestly, we didn't ask them to cheat on us. We didn't ask them to lie to us. We didn't ask them to do this and this, and this. However, when you stay in those relationships after the first time they do it, we are literally giving them permission to do it again. If a person cheats on you the first time and you let it slide, what that just did was you set a standard. So what they do is this. They go do it again. And when they do it again and you forgive them again, they say, "Oh, I'm good now. I'm good. It is what it is." But a lot of times we have to step back and regroup again and tell each other what we don't like. That part right there. Who said that? In relationships, sometimes we have to learn to step back. The last video was hilarious. Thank you so much. Sometimes we have to learn to step back. We have to literally step back and say, what is good for me? What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that person is? Why am I still attracted to this person? Why am I willing to go and stick with this? I think somebody used the word insecure. Am I so insecure that I don't think anybody else want me? I don't think I can get another person. I don't want to be by myself. What's the song? Is a song out that says a piece of a man is better than no man at all. So we have to learn. We have to learn that when stuff happens in relationships, learn to pull that mirror out and say, "Hey, hey Jason, let me talk to you for a minute, bro. This person did this to you. Are you cool with that?" If the answer is cool with that, if you're cool with it, ask yourself now, why are you cool with it? Why are you okay with that person misusing you, mishandling you, and all of this other stuff? Now you get to deal with you. I gave too many chances to allow him to open up. Right. Now my insecurity feeds my fears of being hurt. Trust me, I know that. I am terrified of being hurt. I am terrified. I told I was sharing, and I think I may have said it on the show. We must get to know each other. Okay. I may have said it on the show, but I know I had a couple of conversations, and I was trying to help some people out, and I was trying to be transparent with it. And I said this: I'm afraid of falling in love again, or I'm afraid of getting married again because I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose my friend. I've been married a couple of times, and I lost friends. Because we stopped being, I've actually been in serious relationship or been in relationship. And the worst thing for me is I never want to lose a friend. I tell, when I date, when Jason date, I say this, I want to be your friend. I want to learn to be your friend. I want to learn to be your best friend. So that when we get into a serious relationship, and if we get into a marriage, that we've grown this friendship. We've grown this friendship, and we can talk about anything. If I can get there with you in the beginning, and we could talk about anything, I'm talking about anything. Now let's build on that. Let's build our house on that. Let's build our relationship on that. If you can be my friend and I can talk to you about anything, that way, when we're in a serious relationship, we're married, and I'm dealing with something serious and personal and maybe intimate, I can sit down and talk to you as my friend. Recently, I had to deal with ending a friendship that hurt me to my core. It hurt me to my core. I had to end a friendship. And the last thing I want to do is lose because when I allow you into that zone, the last thing I ever want is because somebody else comes in your life, that person is jealous. And so you have to say, I can't be your friend anymore. That's terrible to me. That's terrible to me. That's just me. That's just how I think. That's just how I am. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe like I said, maybe it's, I don't know. It is what it is. You're listening to Life After the Call. I got a next question when we come back. I got another question when we come back. I want to see what y'all think about this. I want to see what y'all think about this. Where do I want to go? Let's do this. I haven't played this one in a minute. Holla at your boy. It's all good. It's all gravy. This is Jay Henry. Jay Henry Live. Game Changer. Holla at your boy. It's all good. It's all gravy.
Hey, yo, it's your boy Rodney Perry. I'm bringing you an evolutionary experience. Hey, it's Game Changer.
Once upon a time, not long ago, a nice 808 and a saxophone. Got you on a channel that you can't control, so leave that remote and your man at home. Cameras on, ooh, get your cameo. Make it shake from the porch to the patio. Make it scrape like a rake, don't bag them, no. Without a leopard print on, you an animal. Oh yeah, we rockin', locked in with no bail. I feel good, look fresh, and I still hit the floor, break 'em out like it's frail. We came out to go in with Jay Henry.
That thing. It ain't nothing but a beautiful thing. We having a beautiful time. It's your boy Rodney Perry. Jay Hen on the sax. I see you, boy. You killing it. Oh, you killing it. Big Zed. Now just the kind of track to make you get up and move. Go relax, lay back and get lost in the groove. And the more I listen to it, it's a hell of a tune. Go ahead, give it to them, Jay. Let them know how we do it. Now everybody need to rush to the floor right now and watch how these little boys get down. Now I must admit that this ain't fair. Man, this ain't nothing but a family affair. We gon' jam all night till we lose our breath. And when we rest up, we gon' do it again. The dance floor pack and getting it on. And we ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning. We gon' rock it and break it down. And it's your boy. I'm dropping this verse. Rodney Perry. I didn't rehearse. Yeah. Come on. Let me tell y'all something. It's an evolutionary experience. When you're trying to change your life, take your world to a different level, you're trying to figure out how to get it done, come see my man Jay Hen. He got you. He got you. Woo.
Creole. Politically speaking, I trump them all. I
I suggest you join the fiesta that's jumping off. High Lord of the sauce, I breathe coca. I'm dripping with it, I kick and spit it and super soak ya. Shout out to the bad and the bougie. Me and the crew, we move crowds like a Uzi. So hands high, keep your hands up high. Creole so fly, kick the sun out the sky. Set fire to your tone when I bring the heat down. Unique sound, peak the CK beneath the ground. I'm the ruler like Wicks since Fresh taught me how to Dougie. Game changer, I'm a soul set free. You gotta love me.
Hey, it's all love. My man Jay Hen, he's on the sax. Creole King, the young fella, killing it. Where y'all at? It's evolutionary. That ain't no word, but it is a game changer. Yeah. Evolutionary, what the hell is that? I'm losing my damn mind. Let me tell y'all something, on the real. When you get ready to change your life, put this on. We'll take it to the next level. Come on, Jay. Get in there. Get in there, dog. Woo! You're killing it, man. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Jay Hen, I see you. No, not for the ladies. Not for the ladies. Not for the ladies. That's my man right there. I know that dude. Everybody gather around. I know that dude. That's Jay Hen. He's a game changer. You talk about changing the game. I tell you today that there's only one way to change it, and it's with my man, Jay Henry. See, when you put together people like the Creole King, I rep Mike and Big Zach, you have no choice but to change the game. We've done it here today, I'm telling you, boys and girls, men and women, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants, Catholics. Get on the dance floor and join in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Jam, I said jam, everybody jam. Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
You're listening to Life After the Collar with your boy J-Man on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa, that's right, Alexa, can make it do what it do. I'm gonna end this conversation. What did you go through? It's a lot. This is not the show for that. I will one day, do a show. Can't eat it now. I will do a show about my life and the things that I went through, and the cycle that I went through personal. I was sharing my story with someone a while ago, a guy. He was going through something in a relationship, and I shared my story with him. And after sharing my story with him, he looked at me, he said, and he was quiet. I was like, what's wrong? He said, I don't understand it. He said, if I were you, I would have been either dead in jail or in a mental institute. That's what he told me. After I shared because there are people that are far worse off than we are. And I see the other people saying, I saw someone saying that they're done with love and all this other stuff. If you was to hear my story, and I still believe in love. If you was to hear my story and the stuff that I went through, getting hit by a car, being maced in the face, being cheated on, and the list goes on and on. And I mean, if you was to hear my story, you would literally say, why are you here? Like, why do you even have this show? I don't even know how you're thinking correctly, especially if you knew my personality. So I do what I do, and I thank God. I look at it this way. I want people to understand it, especially if you believe in God. Those that believe in God, in a greater being. I just don't want to limit the name to God, because honestly, we're not even supposed to call his name. With the Creator, we're not even supposed to call his name. But if you believe in a higher being that created you and gave you purpose, you have to understand that a lot of the stuff that we go through in life, God ordained it. Well, we're so busy trying to be upset with other people because they did this, that, and the other to us. In reality, that was their purpose in life. Come here, Judas. Judas walked with Jesus, and he was the one that betrayed Jesus. Jesus looked at him and said, hey, whatever you got to go do it quickly. He walked with Jesus all of those years. So while we're sitting there complaining about what somebody else did to us and hurt us and mistreated us and mishandled us, think about what happened with Jesus. This man sat there, kissed him on the cheek, and put him in the arms of the enemy that wanted to kill him. So a lot of stuff that we go through in life is not, when we are selfish, and we all can be selfish at a certain time. We all can. But when we learn to say, okay, God allowed me to go through this. Now, God, why did you allow me to go through? Some of the worst hurts you can experience are those that you are closest to. The people that hurts us the most are some of the people that are closest to us. Come here, Moses. When Moses had to go back to deliver Israel from Egypt, he had to go talk to Pharaoh. Pharaoh at that time was not the same Pharaoh when he left. The Pharaoh that was in charge at that time is his brother that he grew up with, his adopted brother that he grew up with. So the Pharaoh that he was dealing with at that time was his brother that he loved and that loved him. But the Bible says this, and God hardened Pharaoh's heart. God was the one that made Pharaoh mean. I know y'all don't want to believe that part. But God was the one that made Pharaoh mean and hateful. God would use the persons closest to you to hurt you. I lost my faith in God because I prayed too much for me. I understand that conversation. I walked away from you're looking at somebody, whoever that was, and that name keeps slipping me because it's too long. You're looking at somebody that walked away from the church, and I'm all the way ordained. But what I did was to suffer this way. Trina, I'm just gonna call you Trina. I walked away from the church, but then God gave me some insight to why I had to go through the things that I had to go through. The reason why you all on TikTok, and the reason why you all on Facebook, and the reason why you all over here on Spreaker are listening to me today, literally, and the advice that I'm giving to you all is because I went through what I went through. I didn't have to read a book. I didn't have to sit in the classroom. No, I lived it, and I learned from it. And I got the juice out of it, the anointing out of it, the lesson out of it, the experience out of it. And now I use it to help others. I am in the happiest place I've ever been in my life. And it's all because I went through the heartache that I went through. My last divorce, she sat there with pepper spray, sitting on the bed. She came into it because we was already basically separated. I'm in my bedroom. She's in the master bedroom. And she just started an argument. Every day, she would wake up and come to my room and start an argument. This particular time, Trina, okay, got you. This particular time, she came up to me and started this argument, came in my room, started an argument. Because if you know me, I don't argue. I don't raise my voice. I don't get it in effect. It does not affect me. This particular day, she felt that she wanted to push my buttons. She went in her room, got her mace, and sprayed me square in the face. Now, I'm prior military. The stuff that y'all carry on the street ain't nothing what I used to have to go through. It's nothing that what I went through. So I was like, you could spray me with that. It wasn't anything. So she sprayed me. Did it burn? Yeah. But it didn't do anything. I just went to the bathroom, washed it out, and kept it going. But when I got past that and got through that, and I argued with God, don't get it twisted. Trina, I argue with God. My whole life, look, God does answer prayers. A lot of times we don't listen to the answer. Because one of the things that God would tell you, I needed you to go through that. Because there's something greater in you that I'm trying to pull out. I caused that. The stuff that Job went through, God caused that. God allowed that. Devil, what are you up here doing? Oh, I'm just going to and fro, see who I can devour. God says, how about Job? Go try Job. If we're going to use the word, use all of the words and learn from God. Learn God's characteristics. Sometimes God allows stuff to happen to you because he's trying to do you a favor. Because if you lose $1, he's going to give you 100. If you lose a like, he's going to give you a love. I was upset with God. I have some conversation. There are, I did absolutely nothing to her. Because I don't argue, I don't fight, I didn't cheat, none of that stuff. Somebody asked, what did I do to her? I did absolutely nothing. I was in my room, door closed. She came in. So you got to know the whole story of why she did what she do. She had some other things going on. She had some other things going on, and it is what it is. I'm not going to get into that tonight. So what did I do? I was sitting on my, if you want, the answer to your question is, what did I do to her? I was sitting on my bed. And it was her children that came and got me. To this day, her children and I do a lot of things together. When after that incident, I left the house. Her children and I, or one of her sons and his wife, we went on a cruise together. There was a couple of times they came and got me and said, "Hey, Pops, come go with us. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You come with us, Pop." So the answer to what I did, I was being me. It's not the answer we want to hear sometimes. And it's not. I'm going to say this. I'm glad I did this show this way. I'm going to say this to I got 8 minutes. I want to say this to you all. A lot of times when we approach God selfishly. We do things and we do something and then say, here, God, bless it. God, I got this man in my life. I got this woman in my life. Bless it. When God is saying no. Or we're going through a situation. God, I don't want it to end up that way. God, I don't want it to end up that way. I want it to look like this. So God, you change it to what I want. And God is saying, no, I got something for you to do. I need you to follow my instruction. Let me. God has only one will. To all of y'all church folks out there, and they've been teaching y'all this term, permissive will. God does not have a permissive will. He only has his will. Period. He only has his will. His grace and his mercy allows us to do stupid stuff. It covers us. But in reality, there's only one will, and that's his will. Sometimes, watch this, sometimes his will for us is nasty. We sit around, we run around and say, God, any way that you can use me, Lord, you can use me, here I am. We think that God is going to say, hey, go help give that person a ride. Hey, that single mother over there, go give them some diapers and some milk. But maybe God is going to tell you, I need you to go through that divorce. Maybe God is saying, I need you to go through this health issue. Maybe God is saying, I need you to lose everything. Because I'm going to use you to show my glory. God will get the glory out of everything. Maybe God wants to use you to look crazy. I experienced some church hurt. I experienced a huge church hurt. But God ended up using that church hurt and what they did to me to bring forth a revelation that was mind-blowing. So when we learn, and this is just real talk, when we learn to stop being selfish in our actions and our request for God, you're going to ask God. There's only one thing, God, you can ask God. God, let me be in your will. I feel you and why I always come on your live. Thank you, Trina. When we get to a place where we say, God, I trust you. This was the hardest thing I had to learn. And those that are listening, I want you all to hear me when I say this. The hardest lesson I ever had to learn, or the hardest position that I had to get in, was this. God, I trust you. Whatever you put me in, I know you got me. Whatever fall that besets me, God, I know you're going to catch me. I used to train on a small obstacle course. It was called a training, and corporations would come on. We would go through these trust course. That's what it was called, a trust course. And as a team, they had to trust the other person to do what they needed. And one of the things was the fall. You would climb up in a tree, and we had this ledge, and you would have to fold your arms like this and fall backwards. And trust that when I fall off this ledge, they're going to catch me. My team is going to catch me. When I got to the point in life, with my spiritual walk, that I said, God, if I fall, I trust you to catch me. God, if I get hurt, I trust you to be there for me. God, I trust you that if I go through this medical issue, that you're going to be my healer. Some of the stuff that we blame the enemy for, we did. We should be blaming us. And some of the stuff that God did to us, we blame the devil for. I'm going to say this and I'm done. Because I have 4 minutes. And this, Trina, I hope this statement, I want you to write this down, Trina. I want you to write this down. And anybody else that's listening. I'm going to say it a couple of times so you can get it. No matter the situation you find yourself in, no matter what situation you find yourself in, I don't care what it is, good, bad, or ugly. No matter the situation, always look for 3 things. Look for God's presence, look for God's power, and look for God's provision. No matter what the situation is, this changed my life. This changed when this word was imparted into me. It changed my life. So no matter what comes my way, a person comes in my life, a bad situation comes in my life, I'm dealing with a life issue. Even with this pandemic that's going around. I look for 3 things. I look for God's presence in it, what he's doing, how he's moving. I look for his power in it, how he's changing things around. And I look for his provision, how he is accommodating what needs to happen. Always look for God's presence, God's power, and God's provision. When you do that, the medicine that we have to take from God is a lot easier. Growing up, y'all remember 3-6 and cod liver oil. Cod liver oil. Y'all remember cod liver oil? True. I do blame it in that order. That right. Y'all remember cod liver oil? My grandmother, when we was growing up, we always, if in the middle of the day, especially in the wintertime, in the middle of the day, we smell bacon, we already knew we was getting ready to get some cod liver oil. What grandmother used to do is she would fry bacon. And then she would call us into the room, and we all used to have to take cod liver oil. And she would shove the spoon in our mouth, and we'd take it. It was the worst tasting stuff in the world. But then she would hand us a piece of bacon. And we would eat the piece of bacon, and it would take that taste away. Let me tell y'all something. If you all call yourself a child of the Creator, if you call yourself a Christian and you trust in God, you have to trust in God. Joseph was in the pit and ended up in a palace, but he had to get to the point where he trusted God. Daniel was in the lion's den, but he had to get to the point where he trusted God. The people that the Bible calls Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they trusted God, but ended up in the fire. I forgot what their real names was, but they trusted God. Job went through what he went through, and he was real close to God, but he trusted God. He went through it and trusted God, and God blessed him on the other side of it. As long as you stay in that heartache and in that pain, you'll never get the blessing from it. When God takes everything from you, it's for a reason. He's going to give you more. And I'm going to speak this over Trina's life. I don't know the situation, but the blessings that should have flowed through that person is going to come directly to you now, if you believe that God is doing what he's going to do in you. But you have to trust God. You're going to come back with a testimony, because when you change your heart, not just your mind, when you change your heart to God, he's going to give you everything that you've been holding up on your own because you was unwilling to forgive. In order for you to get what you need to get, you're going to have to learn to forgive. God had to forgive you. Matter of fact, in order for you to get your blessing, you're literally going to have to ask God to forgive you, because you mishandled God already. In order for you to get what you need to get from God, you're going to have to ask God. Our prayer says, God, forgive us, forgive me, as we forgive those who trespass. I can't expect God to forgive me if I never forgive other folks. That's just the Bible. That's just the Bible. I'm not going deep or anything. The Bible says, "In God, forgive me as we forgive others." If you want to make it into heaven, and this is just, Trina, I'm talking, forget about anybody else that's listening in. Trina, I'm talking to you directly. If you want to make it into heaven, and this is real conversation, if you want to make it into heaven, you're going to have to ask God to forgive you. But in order for God to forgive you, you're going to have to forgive the other person. God, we thank you for this Spreaker's moment today, Spreaker.com, Life After the Collar, for my Facebook family, my TikTok family. God, I thank you so much for giving me the words that needed to be said today. I pray now, God, that those that listen got something, heard something. A seed was sown in their lives. But today, right now, God, I minimize all the other conversations. I minimize all the other conversation, and I'm talking directly. I'm praying, and I am interceding directly for Trina. And I pray, God, that right now you have a vivid conversation with her, and that it is, without a question, your voice talking to her. Without question, God, that you that you, God, allow her to hear your voice. I see the pain. I feel the hurt. I see the pain and I feel the hurt, God. And I know the conversation very well. So, God, I pray that what I went through in my life, that anointing, God, that you put on her life, and that she find you in all of those situations, and she find her gifts, and she finds her talent, and she finds her calling by what she went through. And no longer, matter of fact, I see she's sick. I feel that she's sick right now, and because of what she's been harboring in her heart. I pray, God, that you touch her mental health. I pray, God, that you touch her physical health. I pray, God, that you touch her spiritual health. I pray, God, that right now you are moving in her life. Teach her how to forgive. When she's able to forgive, God, she makes room for you. When she's able to release the issues and the pain that comes along with it, that she's able to live a freer life, that she will be able to walk in her destiny, that her children will walk in their destiny. I pray, God, that you remove, yes, God, those people that are around her, that's causing her to be negative, that's causing her to keep unforgiveness in her heart. I pray, God, whatever, and this is the prophet speaking, I pray, God, that you get rid of them. I don't care what you have to do, God, to get rid of them, but I pray, God, that you now a hedge of protection is around her, and that those that are around her that's causing her and trying to convince her not to forgive, that you literally get rid of them. Literally. This is the prophet, and you said when the prophet speaks, God, you will make it happen. I don't bite my tongue in this area. I am a protector, God. And when I see someone that needs protecting, God, that's what I do. You designed me to be this way. I can take the fight. But those that are weak, God, I will stand in and fight for them. So right now, I stand in for Trina, and I am her armor bearer. I am her bodyguard. I am the one that's standing around her as interceding for her right now. You place my angels around her. Until she learns how to communicate with her angels, God, you put my angels around her. That is my prayer today. That is my prayer today. God, you get the glory. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. It's done. It's done. Y'all know I like having fun on TikTok. I love doing jokes and stuff on Facebook. I have my different things going on. But one thing I do not play when it comes to this. I do not play. Ronnie 3DCS, what's going on with you? Ronnie. I do not play. I don't play with this. I don't play. And tonight when y'all pray, y'all make sure y'all call her name. Y'all may not know her full name. Just call her Trina. God knows who you're talking to. God knows who you're talking to. Look, I am 8 minutes past the time I said that I was going to get off. Y'all go online on television right now. The DNC, the conference is for them to get ready to announce the Biden is going to be running on the Democratic ticket. The vice president is going to be whatever her name is. It's slipping my mind right now because my mind is somewhere else. Not because I'm being mean or hateful. My mind is somewhere else. What's the girl name? Anyway, AKA, what's the girl's name? We're praying for that. So y'all go ahead and I got to get over there and watch that stuff there. I'm very, I love politics, so I want to get there. All right. I apologize. I didn't mean to change. No, hey, Trina. No, ma'am. This show was designed for you. This show was purposed for you. I should have named it after you. This show was purposed for you. So do not apologize. You're good. Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris is going to be, I think that's tomorrow. She get to speak tomorrow, and then Biden will speak Wednesday. You're welcome. Blessings to y'all. I'll see y'all on the flip side of this thing. Let me do this. Lord have mercy. Tomorrow morning is Coffee and Conversation. If you're part of my Spreaker family, you can be a part of Coffee and Conversation, 8 a.m. Stop by and see your boy. Holler at your boy. It's all good. It's definitely all gravy. I holler.
J-Mad is not your everyday lunch partner. He's all the way raw.
How are you going to say Black Lives Matter when the only reason you come out is when cops kill us and we don't come out when we kill ourselves? That's crazy, man.
He's all the way real.
The truth? You can't even handle the truth.
And most of all, he has his priorities right.
I want the Falcons and the Hawks to be my pallbearers at my funeral. That way they can let me down just one last time.
J-Mad gives it to you big.
Yeah, you need that real talk. Well, J-Mad, he got ya. Right here doing God's work, bringing life after the collar. Hey, radio show, and he's doing it big. You just can't ignore J-Mad, bringing you the word. Just holler at your boy. Hey, life after the collar with J-Mad. Yeah, you need that real talk. Well, J